Howdy, I'm Jason Hill.
And I'm not. Actually, I'm James Blackburn.
Yeah, two of me would be bad.
Sorry, man.
And this is No Joke Survival.
Preparations for the average family.
And our goal is to teach you some simple and easy ways to get started with prepping in case of a natural disaster or a crisis.
On this week's episode, we're going to go into some food preparation and food storage techniques that exist to help you out.
And speaking of which, this is a topic that I know Danny likes a lot, so let's go ahead and bring her in for this one.
Yeah.
Danny!
It's not on the table. You guys.
We fooled you again. Yeah. We're only talking about food. We're not actually eating it yet.
Okay. Well, we can talk about food, and it reminds you how awesome food is when you get to it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So with food storage, there's a lot of different types of foods that you can store. One of them, which is kind of common, is the MRE, which is the meal ready to eat, the military issue type stuff. And those are nice because they have like a water content. You don't have to rehydrate them. And they're all packaged up and ready to go.
And they're fairly high calorie, too, to get you through the day, right?
Correct. And, they're great for backpacking or just having one in your car in case of an emergency. You break down somewhere. They're really good to have.
Where can you pick those up? I mean,
Locally, you can normally find them like at an Army surplus store, but there's numerous places online. Everything's online nowadays, so a couple clicks and they drop ship them right to your door.
Nice. So MREs, not just for the military anymore.
Correct.
They're for everyone.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
So, go ahead. Prepackaged items that are dehydrated.
Yeah.
I saw you brought some in earlier for the beginner's box. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like to think of the prepackaged, dehydrated food items kind of like the non-military version of MREs. Though with those, I guess you could say for the prepackaged dehydrated food, you do need to add water to them. And what a lot of them, all you have to do is just add, a cup or whatever, boiling water, stir it up, and then it's ready to go. And there's all kinds of different kinds out there. You can, if you're vegetarian, if you're vegan, if you love, beef, chicken, whatever.
Jelly Mac.
And desserts. I have, I'm a little hesitant about the desserts, so I'll say I've never tried their,
I have.
the
Camping.
desserts.
They're yummy,
but-
too. Yeah.
Okay, I think I say they're good.
So on that prepackaged food that you brought in, you can pour the water right into the packaging, right?
Exactly. I mean, the lining inside the bags are specifically designed to where you can add the water straight to it. That way you're not making messes and you don't have to dirty up any more, any additional pots and pans if you don't need to. 'Cause-
And since it's a survival show, you should carve your own spoon out of a block of wood before you eat it.
Yes.
if you have this unending amount of time and love to whittle, then maybe. But
Yeah, I forgot my wooden spoon at home today, but I'm
You have
sorry.
5 or 10 minutes as it's cooking, so you have time to carve a spoon.
just take a knife real quick.
As viewers will see on future episodes, we were pretty good with a knife and,
That's right.
and sticks.
Hopefully.
Okay, another popular item, canned goods. We have some on the shelves. Most people have them in their pantry. Soup is a real popular one, but also canned vegetables and fruit.
Yep.
And those are great because they last a long time. And the key is just to rotate them out. As you buy more, kind of put them to the back.
Yeah.
Move the other stuff forward so that you're using it before its expiration date.
Right.
Exactly. You can use that first in, first out mentality. That way if you keep, as you say, rotating, you're not thinking, oh, did this expire 2 years ago? Yes, in fact, it did. And for canned fruits as well, if you're in that crisis situation, you need to make sure that you have a water intake. And a lot of canned fruits have, it's kind of sugary water, but there's liquid in
Sure.
there as well.
Yep.
And, nothing should go to waste. So you have that there as well.
And the other nice thing is that most of the expiration dates on those cans, it's more of a suggested buy. There's been lots of times where people have eaten them past that time
Yep.
and they're still good.
Yep.
So just be careful and use your best judgment. So
And you can always use, like a can of black beans to make something bigger, like Pretty Rockin' Quesadilla, as I make
Yeah.
every.
some other great items are like beans and rice and flour, Honey, yeah, honey lasts forever. You know.
So tune back after the break, and we're going to go into a lot more detail on the various items that you can store that don't require a refrigerator.
And how to store them.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
how long to store them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Lots of who, what, where, when, why, hows.
And how to cook a good casserole with them. Ooh, yeah.
Hopefully, as long as you don't burn it, it's all right. You know, just kind of.
Hi, welcome back to No Joke Survival. I'm Jason Hill,
I'm James Blackburn.
and today's show we're discussing food storage and all the different types of foods, how long they last, what it takes, as far as some need water, some don't.
Yep. And we touched base on quite a bit in the first segment, but one thing I'd like to talk about here real quick is natural foods, such as peanut butter and honey. Those have a fairly long shelf life, right?
Absolutely. Honey I love because, for one, years later, the most that normally happens to is it kind of gets crystallized, and you just set that like in a hot water bath, and it'll go right back to a liquid.
Nice.
It like virtually lasts forever.
Yeah.
And it also has antiseptic properties and some other great benefits too.
Yeah, the bees are awesome for making it for us.
Exactly. And peanut butter is just kind of awesome in general, as far as the protein content, the oils and fats
Yeah.
and stuff that are in it.
And it's very yummy, too.
I like yummy.
Yes.
That's good. So, we have a number of different products, and some of them last longer than others. And so some of the ones that can last 20 to 30 years are going to be like wheat, rice, sugar, pinto beans, oats, and,
Right.
and like pasta.
Right. And can you stockpile seeds for about the same amount of time? Do they have as long of a shelf life for planting those later?
I don't know the exact length of time, but seeds are a great option for prepping, because if, say, a crisis happened and it destroyed the soil or the land or polluted
Right.
it somehow, and you had to move to a different area and plant crops, if you have some heirloom seeds, then you could potentially throw together a little garden
Yep.
and have a perpetual food source. So
Right.
having seeds is always a good idea for prepping.
Right. And even though we don't know the exact shelf life, it's a pretty substantial amount of years, I believe. That
Sure.
they will
I've got
last, so.
some at home, and they're in a little Mylar package, and they're sealed up, and will last.
Now, what about foods that last over 10 years, such as, flour, potato flakes, stuff like that?
Yeah, powdered milk, powdered eggs,
So powdered
powdered
foods,
cheese.
powdered powder.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine? I'm going to make an omelet. I'm going to have my powdered eggs, my powdered cheese, and
My
glass of powdered
Powdered milk. It sounds yummy, but hey, in a survival situation, you won't be complaining about it, right?
Well, and that's the key. Is it may not sound super yummy, but if you're looking for something that lasts a long time, that you'll still have as a food source down the road, then you kind of just go with what you have.
Exactly. Now, corn, that also has a pretty long shelf life, right?
Yep. Regular corn, and there's different ways to prepare these, and you want to just package them up to where they're protected from like bugs and insects and things
Right.
like that.
Yeah, because
So,
any kind of critters that are nearby that are also hungry are going to eat up your food if you're not careful.
That's right.
And one quick thing I wanted to mention too is we're talking about long-term food storage, and obviously a refrigerator is not a long-term food storage situation. And if you lost power, the food in the fridge would last 3 to 4 hours, and the stuff in the freezer maybe 24 at the max.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons why we're talking a lot about long-term storage, because electricity doesn't always see you through.
Correct. And if all of a sudden there's a crisis, you want to do just that: is burn through the items that are in your refrigerator.
The perishable items. That make sense.
Perishable before they spoil and go bad. Then work your way to the freezer items, and we've discussed this before, but use the canned goods and the dry goods and the rehydrated goods. Use those last, so that it'll last a long time.
Well, you know me, I love potatoes. And if they're in flake form or not, it doesn't matter, because when they're cooked, it tastes awesome to me. So I have potato flakes at home stored all the time, because potato is one of the most ultimate vegetables out there, or grain, or whatever they call it
Yeah.
in the Food Network.
So then you also have some items that you dehydrate yourself. So there's your beef jerky,
Beef jerky, yep.
which I absolutely love. I do a lot of hiking, you do as well, and it's just
Yeah.
really easy to eat,
Exactly.
store, package, take with you.
I never go on a hike without some beef jerky. Either store-bought stuff or obviously homemade is always better. And you can do that with a food dehydrator.
Yeah, you can pick them up at a local store. They're not expensive, and you can experiment. You can play with it. You just start cutting some thin slices and try different spices
And
and
what else can you dehydrate in there other than beef jerky?
fruits and vegetables. So you
And
have
that prolongs the shelf life as well when they're dehydrated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So banana chips are popular, or apples, and vegetables, leafy greens, kale. You know, and there's just so many options that you have. So why not? You can do it at home, and
Almost anything is dehydratable, right?
yes, is that a word?
It is now.
Dehydratable.
So once the fruits, the vegetables, the beef jerky is dehydrated, it has about a year shelf life, you think?
Thereabouts, you know, it varies. So, you know, you want to use it up, you know, over some of the other stuff. But a lot of it will last up to about a year.
Nice.
And then, you know, and then you can start, once you've used up all of your other perishable items kind of in the order that they perish, hopefully it won't last that long. Hopefully you won't need to think about 10 or 20 years from now trying to
Right.
survive. But then you can use the rehydrated, like the prepackaged items where you add water, you know, use
Nice.
those type of things last.
I don't know why, but it just gets me excited to think about how to prep these things for ourselves and for our families, and just having the knowledge of feeling like we could be prepared should something happen, you know?
Yeah, and another key thing that you want to try to think about is buying foods or storing foods that you're actually going to eat. A lot of people will buy these big bags of beans or rice, and it's like, what are you going to do with that? Do you have a meal in mind, you know? Like, how is that all going to come together? But you want to have stuff that you're going to eat if you have to.
Exactly, and obviously you should use common sense if the food has potential to be spoiled or whatnot. Smell it, you know, a little taste of it. Don't just dive in right away. Make sure that the food has not been infected by bugs or whatever.
Yeah. The food will be discolored, or if it has a bad odor to it, then you know, common sense says that's probably not
Right.
good. Yeah, you don't need to get sick because that's just going to make things worse.
Make things a lot worse, unfortunately.
So, some things to consider when you are storing food are where you're at, your climate, because there's a lot of factors that affect food storage, such as heat, humidity, the moisture content in the air, how long they've been stored, even light.
Now, do we have some examples of a variety of things in the beginner's box?
We do, and
I think it's just about time to mention that.
oh yeah, well let's bring Danny in if she's got the beginner's box ready.
Oh, I do.
Danny,
It's quite large this time around, since everyone
Wow.
everyone loves food. So
Beginner's box,
Beginner's
time to
box.
dance, woohoo!
I wonder how silly.
2.0, you know, I mean, it's getting better.
I'm waiting for the comments to roll in on our beginner's box dance.
It's bad and getting worse. Well, I guess we'll start off. Since the beginner's box, you have food storage, so we needed a variety of different kind of items. So earlier, you know, we had talked about the dehydrated food packets, and I have a couple here actually, you know, and that you can have all kinds of different items, and depending on what kind of situation you may be in, you can use them for hiking, backpacking, or if you're just, your power goes out and you think, oh, I need to make dinner really, really simply. So
Yep,
there you
just
go.
add some boiled water to them, and they're
Exactly.
lightweight and they store easy.
Yep.
Now, I have never, ever eaten these, but I'm going to actually, I think, pass that on to you to have you explain.
This is just a nice little block. They're kind of like cookies. There's 16 little individual cookies in here at 200 calories each, so It's like emergency food. So
Emergency
it packs.
food cookies.
Yeah. Well, you're packed into a small amount, so if you need to get some energy in you, you can ration these out. You know, so many calories, and it'll last you a little while.
Well, and those
Nice.
are nice
But-
because there's a ton in such a small amount of space. So if you're a big family, you have 6 kids or whatever, you can have a bunch of those and kind of ration them out.
Yeah, and
Versus-
it's all sealed up real nice. So I mean, this could get wet or whatever, and it's still good.
Nice. So, we have a part of an MRE packet. This is a beef patty. We're not going to open it because then I'll want to eat it. I'm really hungry right now. But this is, again, just part of an MRE packet. There's usually some kind of protein, there's some kind of grain. Sometimes there's a dessert, but maybe. So,
Those are great because you don't have to rehydrate them.
oh, very true.
What else we got?
We have some canned sardines. Just for example's sake, you can have sardines, there's tuna, there's anything under the sun. I like canned chicken a lot. And that way, I prefer the real thing, but I'm not a huge tuna eater, so there are other options out
Gives you
there.
a good variety.
And so we have some basic canned goods, different kinds of soups. There's beans. There's also going the natural way. Get
Honey.
some honey on
Oh.
here. Yes.
Peanut butter and honey sounds good.
It does.
Oh, you're going to go for it? I'm going to
Go
go
for
for
it.
it. We're both wanting to eat it.
Mine. But set you up there.
And what are these for?
Yeah.
These are just different kinds of spices, especially if you have 10 pounds of rice and you think, oh my gosh, I'm sick of eating rice. The more spice you
Exactly.
have, since they last so long, the more spice you have, the more variety you can have. So
Yeah,
then-
I put ketchup in rice once to make it taste better, so it doesn't
oh
work.
my. So we have can openers, cooking
Dun, dun,
utensils,
dun. Something to cook it all in.
dun, 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 and
Some dried beans.
dried beans. This, just for example's sake, you can have beans. Again, you can have rice, flour, sugar.
Stay tuned. When we come back from the break, we're going to go in more depth about all these products here.
Yes.
Awesome,
And
man. You've got a lot of
hopefully
stuff.
eat something.
I can't believe how much we got for $100 that we set aside.
I wish there could have been more, but this is a great start.
Oh yeah.
I hope you got donuts this time.
They're cinnamon, they are mine.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Jason,
I'm James.
I'm Danny.
and we're talking about food storage. I like that video. He's like, if it's cinnamon, it's mine.
He's not concerned about the food storage. He just wants the cinnamon donuts.
Speaking about spices, kind of give some variety to things.
Yeah. Now, one of the neat things about that video is that they went out and they bought some stuff, and they spent $100. You don't have to spend a lot. One of the things that I like to try to tell people is to just start with a little bit. Just buy a little extra. And if every time you go shopping, you spend $5 or $10 on getting some soup or getting an extra bag of rice or an extra box of your favorite flaked mashed potatoes,
Right.
then over time you build up, and it's not so overwhelming to where you have to run out and like stockpile your basement, and
Right.
most people don't have the money for that anyway,
Speaking of
See, I was gonna say,
basements,
speaking
yeah.
of basements, you had a perfect segue.
Right?
Yeah,
as far as
exactly.
Where to store.
I'm the Segway king,
Yes.
Jason Segway
Yes.
Hill.
You just need to
We talked a lot about how to store food and what type of food to store, but not where. Now, do you have any ideas for the audience that would help out for that?
Well, some people just have a pantry in their house. Some people will use a basement where typically it's cooler. So remember all these different factors: humidity, light, temperature all affect how long foods are going to last. So if you're storing them and you can store them in a cooler, darker place, it's going to last longer than in your house where it may be 70 degrees.
And you want to be conscientious of, what you're storing where. You wouldn't want to necessarily store tomatoes, being so acidic right next to something that's a very delicate item. Typically squash, for example, lasts for so long, save for spaghetti squash. And so they can kind of have a whole area all their own. You can leave them alone for a while, but keep them away from things like canned goods because they'll start to absorb that flavor. So.
Yeah, and there's so many different types of foods that you can store. It's impossible for us to actually put out that information, but we're going to have more information on our website, www.nojokesurvival.com, and just do a little bit of research, if there's something that you like to store, just go out and look for that information, and you'll be able to find it.
And as usual, the internet is a great source for getting educated. It's like the ultimate encyclopedia, that you can get worldwide information. Of course, you have to filter through it and make sure you get
make sure
stuff
it's
that's correct.
And me personally, I recommend also getting some books because if you ever run out of power and you don't have that resource, you can always go back to the good old-fashioned paper copy.
Exactly. Notepad, taking notes, for all your favorite stuff. So.
Yep.
I believe that we are about ready for our contest here.
Alrighty.
We've set up this shelf here, and I guess our contest is going to be can stacking.
Can stacking.
We're going to check the expiration dates on them and make sure that they're stacked in the proper eating order.
Whoever can stack the most.
I actually took an online course for can stacking.
I hope you didn't pay
I passed
did.
with all A's.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. I was the teacher, so.
Not C for cans.
So what do we do?
So you'll want to check the bottom for the expiration, see, and if it's got a long way to go, you'll want to stack it to the back. You'll want to keep the stuff that's about to expire toward the front. So pretty self-explanatory.
All right.
Are you gentlemen ready?
I'm ready.
We're ready.
And go.
All right, this one's good till next year.
You'll also want to
Wait a
make sure if there's any kind of dents in your cans. For one, when you're
2015.
shopping, you don't want to try and get anything
Cream of
that's-
mushroom. I like that.
You don't want anything with any kind of dent to them because then their good is expired. You'll want to eat those right away.
Yeah, this one expired last year. Oh, I got two
was
cans
loud.
on that one.
This is the
probably
spill
wreaked havoc.
zone.
Hey, Danny,
where-
what's that over there?
I don't. There's no more cans. Hey, no, you don't cheat.
I'm in the lead.
What's that?
Oh,
Wait a
no,
second.
come on.
All right, come on.
Denied.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. It's looking pretty.
Obviously, you want to put can.
you're giving him more cans than me.
No, I'm just faster than you, man.
You're not grabbing them fast enough. I'm bringing 2 out at a time.
All right, all right.
Two
all
at
right.
a
This one
time.
for
Looks like you
later.
got a nice
Take that one
little
home with me.
pyramid. There's no kleptomania here.
Okay, I'll use it.
Use
I won't
them right.
steal your stream of mush.
Mush. Now try adding that with some asparagus and some
Hey, are you
crackers
getting
and
trapped
some
behind the
cheese.
camera there?
I feel like we're gonna get lost here. See, now you have the 3-dimensional pyramid
Correct.
kind of going on.
I am.
Methinks that might actually be a little bit more stable.
I am trying to be more
You want-
creative. With
make sure that the feng shui.
I skipped watching
okay.
the dates.
Really? No watching the dates. All right.
Oh, wait, come
Well, you need to undo and then redo. And on that note, we'll probably have to can it for now. But I'm done. I tried. So hopefully you can come back and see us next week. We're gonna be talking about a few other things. If you want to find out more information about us, this is getting dangerous. Visit our Facebook, facebook.com/nojokesurvival. There you can ask us questions. Wonder why the heck they're doing this? Yes, I was waiting for that. You can also visit our website, nojokesurvival.com. There you can find
That was
there
loud.
you can find videos about all of our goodies.
And some of these other ones right here, we have things falling on the ground. Oh, I think I may have wet myself a little bit.
If you're up on a mountain, you may want to go down into a valley, or observe the area. Some lime.
Oh my God, what is that? What is that, dude? I
Probably a Sasquatch. They're all over the place.
This is important. You don't want to wipe your backside with something that might be poisonous.
what you want to do is literally just sit down and listen.
I kind of blew my way through there pretty badly. There was a lot of outtakes. It's back, dude! It's back! Ah! Where is it? There it goes!
That's awesome. You never know what you're gonna find in the wild. I love it. Or some sort of area where you're gonna find people and be rescued.
Oh, man, that hurts! And now for a blooper.
I literally got ants in my pants. While I was talking, I could feel them crawling down my butt crack.